presented by Nikita Lamkhade, guided by Dr. Kazi sir and Dr. Bhushan Bhagat sir. Every one of us is now familiar with the sanitizers and its importance. Because of the COVID pandemic, these sanitizers are nothing but disinfectants. So today we are going to see different disinfectants and how these disinfectants works. So points to be covered are: first, definition, then classification, properties of ideal disinfectants, general rules for use of disinfectant, types of disinfectant, disinfection for blood spills, then disinfection of surface, disinfection of safety cabinets or laboratory rooms, disinfection of skin, how to use painting and draping methods for disinfection before surgery, and last, the testing of disinfectant. So first, we will see the definitions. So disinfection, it is a process that eliminates many or all pathogenic microorganisms except bacterial spores on inanimate objects. Spores are generally destroyed by the sterilization method. Antisepsis. The antisepsis, it is a process of reducing or inhibiting the growth of microorganisms on the skin or mucous membrane. The picture is shown below. Decontamination. Decontamination, it is a general term for a treatment used to make equipment safe to handle by freeing them of microbiological, chemical, and radioactive and other contaminants. Classification. Disinfectants are mainly chemical agents, and these are classified as alcohol, aldehydes, bigonides, gases, halogens, surface active agents. First, we will see the alcohols. Alcohols are effective skin antiseptics and valuable disinfectants for medical instruments. For practical use, the preferred alcohol is ethyl alcohol. Then ethyl alcohol, it is active against destructive bacterial cells, including tuberculous bacillus, and it dissolves lipids. Medical instruments and thermometers must be thoroughly cleaned before the exposure. 50 to 80% alcohol solution is recommended because water prevents rapid evaporation and assists the penetration into the tissues. 10 minutes immersion in 70% ethyl alcohol is sufficient to disinfect a thermometer or a delicate instrument. It is used in many popular sanitizers which we are using daily. Then isopropyl alcohol. It is a rubbing alcohol. It has bactericidal activity in concentration as high as 99%. Then methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol is toxic to the tissues and used infrequently. Then we will see the aldehydes. First, the formaldehyde. It is a gas at high temperature but solid at low. When 37 grams of solid are suspended in 100 ml of water, a solution called formalin results. In a gaseous form, formaldehyde expelled into the closed chamber where it is a sterilizing agent for surgical equipment, hospital gowns, and medical instruments. However, the penetration is poor. The surface must be exposed to the gas for up to 12 hours for effective sterilization. Instruments can be sterilized by placing them in a 20% solution of formaldehyde in 70% alcohol for 18 hours. It is used to preserve anatomical specimens and for destroying the anthrax spores in hair and wool. The 10% formalin containing 0.5% sodium tetraborate, it is used to sterilize clean metal instruments. Then we will see the glutaraldehyde. Glutaraldehyde is one of the most effective chemical liquid for sterilization purpose. This small molecule destroys vegetative cells within 10 to 30 minutes and spores in 10 hours. Glutaraldehyde is the alkaline agent usually employed as a 2% solution. To use it for sterilization purpose, materials have to be pre-cleaned, immersed for 10 hours, rinsed thoroughly with sterile water, dried in a special cabinet to ensure that materials remain sterile. It can be safely used to test corrugated rubber anesthetic tubes and face masks, plastic endotracheal tubes, metal instruments, and polythene tubing. These are the cabinets used for the sterilizing instruments with 2% glutaraldehyde solution. Then bigonides. Chlorhexidine is a bigonide. It is active against number of bacteria. It can be prepared in alcohol or with a cetrimide, 0.5% plus 70% of alcohol, or chlorhexidine with cetrimide or 4% solution with a detergent can be used as a pre-operative scrub. Then halogens. The halogens are a group of highly reactive elements. Two halogens, chlorine and iodine, are commonly used for the disinfection. So we will see chlorine first. The chlorine is available in a gaseous form and both organic and inorganic compounds. It is widely used in municipal water supplies where it keeps bacteria population at low level. The chloramines, such as chloramines T, are organic compounds that contain chlorine. They are valuable for general wound antisepsis and root canal therapy in dental clinics. Chlorine is effective against broad varieties of organisms, including most gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria and many viruses, fungi, and protozoa. The disinfection of water, how it is done, it is shown in the picture. Iodine. The iodine atom is slightly larger than chlorine atom. It is most reactive and more germicidal. Tincture of iodine, a commonly used antiseptic for wounds, consists of 2% iodine and sodium iodide dissolved in ethyl alcohol. Then gases. First, the formaldehyde gas. Formaldehyde gas is widely employed for the fumigation of operation theaters and other rooms. Then beta-propiolactone. Beta-propiolactone is a condensation product of ketene and formaldehyde with a boiling point of 163 degrees Celsius. It's said to be more efficient for fumigating purposes than formaldehyde. It has a rapid bactericide action, but unfortunately carcinogenic activity. Then last, surface active agents. The surface active agents are a surfactant. It is a substance that lowers the surface tension of the medium in which it is dissolved, the interfacial tension with other phases, and it is positively adsorbed at the liquid vapor interface and other interfaces. Mode of action of surface acting agents. They disrupt the membrane, resulting in a leakage of cell constituents. These surfactants interact with the lipids in the cell membrane through their hydrophobic chain and with the surrounding water through their polar groups and thus disrupted the membrane. Example, quaternary ammonium compounds. Example, benzalkonium chloride are widely used for skin antiseptics. Here we will see the concentration of disinfectants and their commercial preparation available. First, glutaraldehyde. Recommended concentration is 2% and commercial preparation available is Sidex. Sodium hypochlorite concentration is 0.5% or 200 to 5,000 parts per million, and commercial preparation available are Chlorax, chloramine T, and Purex. Then iodophores, then concentration is 1 to 2%, and commercial preparations are betadine, hyoscine, and isoprep. Alcohols, concentration is 60 to 90%, and commercial preparations are isopropyl alcohol. Chlorhexidine, concentration is 2 to 4%, and commercial preparation is Savolon. Then phenolic, concentration is 1 to 3%, and the commercial preparation is Lysol, Dettol, Hyphen. Then we will see the properties of ideal disinfectants. How ideal disinfection should be. Ideally, the disinfection should have wide spectrum of antimicrobial activity. It must be effective against a wide variety of infectious agents, that is gram-positive, gram-negative bacteria, acid-fast bacteria, bacterial endospores, fungi, and viruses at high dilutions. It should be non-toxic. It should not be toxic to human or corrosive. In practice, this balance between the effectiveness and low toxicity for animals is hard to achieve. Some chemicals are used despite despite their low effectiveness because they are relatively non-toxic. Then disinfectant should be soluble in water and lipids for penetration into microorganisms. It should be effective in acidic as well as alkaline medium. It should have low speedy action. It should have speedy action. If possible, it should be relatively inexpensive. It should be odorless or with a pleasant odor. Then general rules for a use of disinfectant. First, the proper cleaning of the object. Disinfection cannot take place without proper cleaning. This is the most important step in the process. Organic load, blood, mucus, tissue, or feces on the object may bind up to the active ingredients of the disinfectant and possibly reduce the disinfectant activity. Then, the physical makeup of the object. The disinfectant must be able to contact with all areas of the object. Then, pH of the disinfection process. Different products are formulated to be effective over a range of pH values. Some work better in alkaline pH and some are more effective in acidic or acid condition. Hardness of water. Minerals such as calcium and the magnesium can also affect the efficacy of the disinfectant by tying up with the active ingredients. Be sure to check with the manufacturer if using with the hard water conditions. Concentration, exposure time, and the temperature of the disinfectant vary with each product. Follow the manufacturer recommendation. Then types of disinfectant. These are the high level disinfectant, intermediate level disinfectant, and low level disinfectant. Then first high level disinfectant. Example is aldehyde and gases, uses for endoscope and surgical instrument. Then intermediate level disinfectant, examples are alcohol and iodophor, uses for laryngoscope disinfection. Low level disinfectant, example are quaternary ammonium compound, uses are electrocardium and stethoscope. Disinfection of blood spills. In hospitals, if there is a spillage of blood, then there is a procedure to clean that. First, wipe that area with water and detergent until it is visibly clean. Saturate the area again with the sodium hypochlorite 0.5%, 10,000 parts per million available chlorine. This is a 1 is to 10 solution of a 5.25% sodium hypochlorite bleach, which should be prepared daily. Rinse off the tongues, brush, and pan under running water and place to dry. Disinfection of a surface. Nowadays, everyone is doing this at home, but in microbiology labs or clinics, how it is done, we will see. Freshly prepared solution of disinfectant should be available on every microbiology workbench. Liquid spillage should be immediately treated, and if the spillage is large, germicidal powder should be added. Surface disinfectant that are used are phenolic, hypochlorite, glutaraldehyde, and ethyl alcohol. Disinfection of safety cabinets. Safety cabinets can be disinfected by using 40% formaldehyde vapor. Procedure. Before fumigation, seal the room with adhesive tape around the edges of the door and windows to prevent the leakage. For each 100 cubic of space, 500 ml of 40% formaldehyde solution and 1 liter water in an electrical boiler with a safety cutout. When boiling dry and timing a switch, set the latter to open the just before evaporation is completed. Switch on the boiler. Leave this room filled with formaldehyde and seal for 24 hours. Open the room and enter Open the door and enter the room with respiratory protective wearings. Open the window to allow the vapor to dispense and neutralize any residual formaldehyde with ammonia by exposing 250 ml of ammonia per liter of formalin used. Fumigation is as shown in this figure. Disinfection of skin. Laboratory Staff must wash hands thoroughly after their work and after removing protective gloves, covering, or clothing. Broken skin and wounds should be cleaned and irrigated with a mild disinfectants like chlorhexidine and cetramide. If the unbroken skin is grossly contaminated with a bacteria or a viral pathogen, it should be rinsed with a phenolic or a hypochlorite disinfectant. Then draping and painting before surgery. These are also the methods of disinfection before the surgery. First, the draping. The procedure of covering a patient and surrounding areas with a sterile barrier to create and maintain a sterile field during a surgical procedure is called draping. The purpose of draping is to eliminate the passage of microorganisms between the non-sterile and sterile areas. Then painting. The process of painting involves single application of antiseptic solution on the incision site, starting from the center to the periphery and thereafter allowing it to air dry for at least 3 minutes. Aqueous-based iodophores such as povidone iodine and aqueous-based chlorhexidine gluconate are used for painting purposes. In aqueous form, most commercially available iodophores require a two-step application in a scrub and a paint technique, and their activity is limited by the amount of time the agent is in contact with the skin. The painting is shown in the figure. The last is the testing of a disinfectant. And there are various methods like a Riedel-Walker method, Chick-Martin test, and in-use test. First, the Riedel-Walker test. Suspension equal to number of Salmonella typhi are submitted to the varying concentration of phenol and disinfectant is tested. Chick-Martin test. The disinfectant acts in the presence of organic matter. In-use test. Used to monitor performance of a particular disinfectant and how it is being used. Sample of disinfectant solution in use around the hospitals are tested. It determines the survival and the multiplication of contaminating pathogens in a disinfectant solution. Riedel-Walker and Chick-Martin test compare the disinfectants with a phenol for the ability to kill the Salmonella typhi. Phenol coefficients are appropriate only for phenolic disinfectants. Hospital laboratories should perform in-use tests to confirm that the chosen disinfectant is effective under the conditions and the period of its use. Thank you.